Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to KGX to the Z TV. Manchester City tomorrow or today, depending on where you are in the world. Oh man, when the schedule first came out, I'm not gonna lie, I saw it and I said, "Ooh, City, four-time champions in a row." But once I started thinking about it, I said, "You know what? If you're gonna play City, the best time to play City is early in the year. You can't get any earlier than this, right?" So we got City tomorrow. Looking at how we're going to anticipate and what we're going to see in that from Maresca in terms of the lineup. We'll go through our team news, a little bit about their team news as far as much as I know, and then maybe get into a prediction, maybe a little bit of how I see the game playing out. But for us, fully healthy minus Reece James, although Reece James is suspended the first 3 matches anyway, so it's, we were never expecting him to have him for this one anyway. So that means we'll probably see Sanchez in goal, right back Gusto. I would say the partnership would be that I think he's going to play is Fofana, right center back, Colwell, left center back, Cucurella, left back, which is very interesting considering all this he was doing in his song with Erlen. I'm like, yo, he might be the wrong bear to poke, but will probably be our back four with Sanchez in goal. I would say it would be Caicedo, Lavia as our midfield. I think he's going to play a little bit defensive, maybe hold him back, kind of rein it in, maybe get a feel for it, and then kind of ease into his game plan. But I think that'll be the two deepest midfielders. Then I think above them you're going to have Sterling on the left. I think you're going to have Nkuku, Palmer, and Madueke. I don't think Jackson's ready yet. He's not fully fit, not over that ankle injury he got at I think AFCON or practice or training. So I think that's going to be our side. Do I think that side is capable of beating the defending champions 4 times running? Ooh, I don't know. I think it more depends on the City side, right? So on the City side, you've got Erlen's been playing all preseason, so he's going to be up top. Definitely going to have Ederson in goal. We'll start from the back. Definitely Ederson in goal. I think you're going to have Ruben Diaz. I think their back line will be okay. I think their back line will be strong. I think you're going to have Gvardiol. And then I think you're going to have Akanji. And then right back, I think it's going to be Kyle Walker. I think he'll be back. Now the midfield, that's the big question, right? Rodri obviously isn't going to play, or at least at the most maybe might make the bench. Although I think I read that he probably wasn't going to be ready for this one. Is De Bruyne ready to go 90? Or I'm sorry, not to go 90, but to start and go at least 60? Ooh, probably. I would say De Bruyne, Kovacic, maybe Bernardo in there, especially with Oscar Bob being hurt now. Rest up, Oscar Bob. I hope he gets back. He destroyed us in preseason, and actually he looked good all preseason for City, to be honest with you. Never like to see anybody get an injury like that, but definitely not somebody like Oscar Bob, who was just, it looked like he was ready to be trusted by Pep, right? Maybe not week in, week out, slotted on that right-hand side, but at least in the rotation, right? He's starting cup matches, the odd Premier League game, depending on who they're playing, right? Definitely coming off the bench, getting 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes, depending on on the outcome and the score in the situation. But yeah, that's a as a football fan, that's a bad miss. So get well, Oscar. Hope you recover well. Hope all that stuff went well. But so back to them. So you got those two. So maybe 4-2-3-1. Is Foden ready? Does he start McAtee? Does he start Rico Lewis? Does he start? God, what's the other kid that they had that was pretty good? A couple kids. I mean, they're credit to City, man. They took Chelsea's model. Chelsea always had a good academy team, but they took their model and just improved upon it at every level, right? So whenever I look at City as a Chelsea fan, I always say that's what Chelsea should be at. Those are the levels that we should have expected and have been expected of this club and the players, to be honest, too, manager as well. But the reality is we're in this situation, so got to just manage expectations. And in the long run, hope this plan that the owners have works out and that there's enough hits with these young guys to justify a lot of misses. But that's Chelsea. My overview in Chelsea is a very, very broad 100-foot level. But City, you'll definitely have. I think Doku will start. I don't know about Grealish. I don't know if I think he just picked up a knock for the Community Shield, and maybe they just didn't risk it because Community Shield is trash. Side note, they should just turn it into a Super Cup, make it competitive. Some fan bases claim it. It's not even a cup. It's a big dinner plate. Some fan bases claim it online. It's banter material. Any game that you can sub as much as that and you have no restrictions on it, that's a friendly. So, just be consistent. It is what it is. If Chelsea win, we've won it in the past, I think 3 times since 2004ish. I never look back and say, yay, we won the fucking Community Shield. Nah. All I want is nobody to get hurt. Guys to get legs in their minutes. Maybe develop some of the understanding, some of the situational play, where to be. But miss me with the results. I've seen Chelsea lose it many of times, and it was fine. No issues. But yeah, so probably Doku on the left. Oh man, does he start Savio on the right now? Savio was playing off the left a lot when in preseason when I watched City, because Oscar Bob was on that right hand side. Oh yeah, I don't know. It all depends. A lot of it just depends on City and the 11 that they have out there. I know at some point the 11 that they have out there is going to improve once guys like I'm pretty sure Foden will be on the bench. They'll have some of their heavy hitters back, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, no Alvarez. Oscar Bob's unfortunate injury. No Rodri. KDB probably won't be able to go longer than 65, 70 if he starts. Foden probably won't start. I mean, we played them tight last year. They should have. We were good money, I think, for the 4-4 draw. The 1-1, you could say that we should have had them down 2-0, 3-0, but the nature of how we finished last year and just in general in our play in the final third, decision making, we did what we were always going to do. So we defended well, but Haaland missed chances that you would expect him to make more times, more often than not. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the best time to play him. Whether or not we actually have enough, and whether or not Maresca, who has supposedly trimmed the squad down to 22 players that he's really, really been training with, we know the Chilwell situation now, we know the Gallagher situation now. It's been discussed at nauseum for the last few days. We know Chalobah's there. We know probably Cassidy's probably there. Like all Lukaku's there. All Kepa's there. I mean, you could you could go. You could almost name you could probably name a bottom relegation type team with our outcasts. Armando Broja's there. That'd be a good somebody drop that in the comments. What the Chelsea banishment team, we'll just call them the banishment team, what that team would look like and how they would fare in the Premier League. Maybe even the Championship too. Probably the Premier League though, because you'd imagine a lot of those guys, like I mentioned, Gallagher's a England international. Chalobah's a good depth option on a good team. Broja's, I mean, he's played in the Championship before. He probably is a Ipswich level type player, right? Bottom lower tier of the Premier League. Lukaku's bang goals wherever he goes in Serie A. So I mean, that's not a bad two-man partnership if you had to play old school 4-4-2 or something like that. Gallagher, like I said, the roadrunner in the middle. Chilwell left back. He'd probably give you, a few decent games here and there. Chalobah at the back. Who else? We don't have any keepers. Kepa in goal. I mean, he played meaningful games last year for fucking Real Madrid. Who else? Right wing. Who am I missing? I'm probably missing a couple because it's so many. Oh yeah, I said Cassidy. So that's if you're playing 4-2-3-1, he could be your guy. That's kind of behind the striker a little bit. He's got a decent eye for goal. Good in the air. Good with quick 1-2s. Not very good at dribbling, beating the guy, but that's his level. Who else? Maybe Angelo, who they're rumoring to kind of float on the market. And I actually like Angelo. I think he's a pretty interesting type player. He gives me a lot of, not as rapid, but he gives me a lot of Douglas Costa vibes with how he's very shifty, very left foot dominant, but still manages to get where he wants to go. He's just not strong, right? Douglas Costa was a little bit more stocky, but also, in fairness, we get to see Douglas Costa in his prime. This kid is still 18. Not saying that he'd never reach those levels, obviously, but at least let him develop, let him play. But yeah, I actually like him. Like whenever he would come on in preseason, last year, he'd always do a couple things here and there, but he must not be physically ready. They just must not think that he's physically ready at this level. But I feel like a decent, maybe like 2 decent loans, pick his opportunity very well. And even if he doesn't make it at Chelsea, that's a minimal cost, and that's a $30 million player that you could potentially, recoup some of your money, and especially if you're spreading out that initial transfer fee over who knows how long of a contract. He came in before the Premier League and UEFA kind of cut down on those, so he might be on one of those long-term contracts. So that's like, negligent amount of money kind of spread over the years. But yeah, man, we'd have that would be a good team. Maybe I'll start a FIFA EAFC save with the all Chelsea banishment team on my other channel, KG X to the Z Gaming, or quit playing KG. But yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be an interesting one. See what both sides. I think we have definitely more of who our starting 11 will be over the course of the year, available to us and fully fit, as compared to City. But I also think City, even their youngsters, because of how they reformed their academy, that in the sense that every different age group is playing the same style with the same basic principles, right? They're definitely not getting the in-game tweaks, the specific game plan tweaks that Pep would do at the senior level. But the philosophies are there, right? Close proximity to each other in terms of passing, but then also sometimes keeping the wingers wide now so they can get in those 1v1s and having such good technical fullbacks that they can cut inside and can invert and play kind of seamlessly. We saw that with Guvardio. So yeah, I mean, credit to them. Like I said, they raise their academy, so when these kids that actually are good enough, and not the kids like Lavia that they sell, which is kind of crazy, but not the kids like McAtee, like Liam, is it Liam Delop? Yeah, Liam, I want to call him Roy like his pops, but like Liam Delop for Ipswich, where they all know how to play with the ball at their feet. They look like they are all good footballers. They're just not there physically sometimes, they don't have enough experience, or just don't have those few characteristics that separate like good Premier League players from those kind of the next tier average Premier League players, which is still a crazy high level. But yeah, I mean they'll still be well drilled. We played them, like I said, we played them in preseason. They scored 4 on us. I'd say out of those 4, 3 we kind of gifted them. Gave them a penalty that probably would have been overturned if there was VAR. Not that we didn't just completely fuck the situation before it, but there was that. There was the 2 giveaways at the back where I think Holland just punished us. So I mean they definitely had chances, but they didn't cut us open and kind of destroy us in the typical City way. It was just turnovers and just quick transitions, boom, 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 that they really just killed us on. And we did what we do, had some really good attacks. We created chances. We managed to score 2, but it was just we still missed a lot. But City looked like once they got up, they just kind of put it in 3rd gear and just training exercise, cardio workout. So. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see how we go. Prediction time. If I had to give a prediction, I'd say, I think it's going to be goals. I think it's going to be 3-2 City. 3-2. I think we score, but I think it's very open, right? I think Pep knows that we're vulnerable a certain type of way. Pressing us high, forcing our center backs to under pressure and getting tight to our midfielders. Now, whether or not they can do that with some of the guys out will be tough. But yeah, I think we'll break it a few times. Get one of the counters right, and then maybe like a moment of magic from either like Palmer, Madueke, and Cuckoo. They just have a moment of just quality, and we scrape like a second. We get a second one. Maybe it's like 3-1, and we get another one, and it's a tight game for like 10 minutes. Or not, I wouldn't say a tight game. It's a nervous game for 10 minutes for City. But yeah, 3-2. So let me know what you think in the comments. Remember, always hit that like button, subscribe. Be more content throughout the year. Maybe we'll do a match review, see how it played out. But I will see you all. I'm going to see you. Peace.